Good morning, dear students. Let's read this chapter, the last chapter of your syllabus, that is Silk Road by Nick Middleton. So, we have known about the main points and the summary of the chapter, and let's now see the detailed text. Before beginning it, I would suggest you to have some notebook and pen with you so that you can note down the meanings of all the difficult words in this chapter, because this chapter is full of new vocabulary for you. First of all, some expressions in the text. First is ducking back. It means to go below the surface of water. Okay? To go below the surface of water. Next, swathe. It means a broad area of something, a wide area of something. Next, career down. It means to move swiftly or to move quickly in an uncontrolled way. You are moving quickly, but you do not have any control. It means you are careering down. Next, maneuverous. It means a movement of moves requiring skill. Okay, you are moving, but you have some skill to move in that thing. Cairn of rocks. It means heap of stones. Salt flats, areas of flat land covered with layer of dust. Okay, flat land covered with salt. Billowed, it means filled with air. So now the beginning. A flawless half moon floated in perfect blue sky on the morning we said our goodbyes. So the author says that when they said goodbye, where were they going? They were going to Mount Kailash to do the Kora, as we had discussed. So when they were going, it was a half moon which was floating in a perfect blue sky on that morning. Extended, wide, banks of cloud. Banks of cloud means you can say wall of clouds, huge, thick clouds were there. Like long French loaves. French loaves are particularly very famous for the color. They are of pinkish color. Glowed pink as the sun emerged to splash. Splash is a sound when something falls in liquid. Okay. The distant mountain tops with a rose tinted blush. So these banks of clouds were also looking like pink, like French loaves, and the mountain tops were also covered with this kind of color because the sun was about to rise. Now that we were leaving Ravu, as we have discussed, he started his journey from Ravu and went to Mount Kailash. Lamo said she wanted to give me a farewell present. Lamo, the persons, the family with whom he was staying, so Lamo was also a family member of that house. So she wanted to give him a farewell present. One evening, I had told her through Daniel, his friend, that I was heading towards Mount Kailash to complete the Kora. And she had said that I ought to get some warmer clothes, that I should get some warmer clothes because Mount Kailash is a very freezy kind of place. After ducking back into her tent, means she went quickly back to her tent, she emerged, came carrying one of the long sleeved sheepskin coats that all the men wore in her area. Satan, author's driver, sized me up, okay, as we climbed into his car. Ah, yes, he declared, Drogba, sir. Drogba means the people or the nomads, especially live in Tibet. We took a short cut to get off the Chang tank. So they were now taking a shortcut. Satan knew a route that would take us southwest, almost directly towards Mount Kailash. It involved crossing several fairly high mountain passes, he said. But no problem, sir. He assured us that this shortcut was safe if there is no snow. It is safe only if there is no snow. What was the likelihood of that? I asked. Likelihood means chances. What were the chances that there will be no snow? Not knowing, sir, until we get there. And the driver said, I'm not sure. We'll know it when we'll reach there if there is snow or not. From the gently rolling hills of Ravu, the shortcut took us across vast, huge, open plains with nothing in them except a few gazelles. Gazelles, a small antelope kind of, that would look up from nibbling the arid pastures and frowned before bounding away into the void. Void is, we have just done it in landscape of the soil, landscape of the soul, empty space. So these gazelles were nibbling the arid. It means to take a small uh, bite from rainless area, or in a phrase way, it means to disapprove of something. So these gazelles were not liking these people. Further on, where the plains became more stony than grassy. Now they were on plains, but it was not grassy, it was stone, it was stony, full of stones. A great herd of wild ass came into view. Now after gazelles, they saw wild asses. Satan told us we were approaching. Approaching means to go near them long before they appeared. So they were coming towards these wild asses, but they were now appeared. Kyang, he said. Kyang is the wild ass of Tibet. He said, pointing towards a far off pall of dust, cover of dust. When we drew near, I could see the herd group of asses galloping in mass. It means galloping in a huge number of crowd, mass, wheeling and turning in tight formation as if they were practicing maneuvers on some predetermined course. Maneuvers, as we have discussed it earlier as well, a movement of moves requiring skill. So these all wild asses were doing these kind of movements. Plumes of dust billowed into the crisp, clean air. In the air, due to the movement of these wild asses, there was a thick layer of dust. As hills started to push up once more from the rocky wilderness, now hills again came. We passed solitary, lonely Drogbas again, Tibet nomads, tending their flocks, and sometimes men, sometimes women, these well wrapped, fully covered figures would pause and stare at our car. These nomads were staring at their car, occasionally waving as we passed. Sometimes they were waving as well. When the track took us close to their animals, the sheep would take evasive action. Evasive, when you want to avoid something. These sheep would go to some side and they do not want to come nearer the vehicles, veering away from the speeding vehicle, veering away to change direction suddenly. So these sheep were changing direction suddenly. We passed nomads, dark tents pitched in splendid isolation, usually with a huge black dog, a Tibetan mastiff, standing guard. So these nomads were having their tents in complete isolation, and the guard of their houses was a huge black dog. This is mastiff dog, a breed of dogs. These beasts means these mastiffs, would cock their great big heads when they became aware of our approach and fix us in their sights. Cock heads, it means when you focus on something. So these mastiffs were just staring at the car and the people, author, Satan, and his friend. As we continued to draw closer, they thought that they would be crossing these dogs. So they came closer. They would explode into action, but these dogs came into action, speeding directly towards us, and they started chasing them like a bullet from a gun, so quick, so fast, and nearly as fast. These shaggy monsters, shaggy means hairy, okay, um, you can say long, thick, unkempt, unclean, or hairy. So these mastiffs were very hairy, and they would explode into action. These shaggy monsters, blacker than the darkest night, so they are said to be black even, more blacker than the darkest night, usually wore bright red collars and barked furiously with massive jaws. Their jaws were very massive. They were completely fearless of our vehicle, shooting straight into our path on the way. They just came and obstructed the way, causing Satan to brake and swerve. Swerve is again to change direction suddenly. So the mastiffs were not moving. Satan had to brake and swerve the car. The dog would make chase for 100 meters or so before easing off. So when the car was 100 meters away from their tent, then the dogs were at ease, having seen us off the property. When they were sure that now this vehicle was away from his owner's property, its owner's property, then the dog was calm and cool. It wasn't difficult to understand why ferocious Tibetan Mastiffs became popular in China's imperial courts as hunting dogs, brought along the Silk Road in ancient times as tribute from Tibet. So when from Tibet we got the Chinese people brought silk here, they had to take mastiffs with them because these mastiffs are so ferocious. So they could cross it safely. By now, we could see snow-capped, snow-covered mountains gathering on the horizon, an imaginary line where earth and sky seem to be connected, but it's not there. It's just an imaginary line. We entered a valley where the river was wide and mostly clogged, full of ice, brilliant white and glinting, shining in the sunshine. So the ice was shining. The trail hugged its bank means the path hugged the bank means the last point. It means there was a steep slope, there was a turn. So there was a sudden steep slope twisting with the meanders. What are meanders? To follow a winding course of a river and road, to assess or to know about the course, to follow a course based on the wind. So meanders as we gradually gained height and the valley sides closed in. They go to that much height. The turns became sharper and the ride bumpier. Satan now in third gear as we continued to climb. The track moved away from the icy river, laboring through steeper slopes that sported big rocks dotted with patches. Dotted with patches, it means to spread a thick liquid kind of thing. These big rivers, these big rocks were covered with these lichen plants. Beneath the rocks, hunks of snow, layers of snow clung on in. So these plants were covered with all snow in the near permanent shade. I felt the pressure building up in my ears, held my nose, snorted and cleared them because he had reached to that height. So, due to the temperature and that oxygen and everything, he felt pressure in his ears and he held his nose and cleared it. We struggled round another tight bend and Satan stopped. He had opened his door and jumped out of his seat before I realized what was going on. Snow, said Daniel as he too exited the vehicle. So Daniel also came out of the vehicle and Satan also, and they both said snow, letting in breathe of cold air as he did so. So when Daniel came out, the author could feel that breathe of cold air. A swathe of the white stuff lay across the track in front of us. Swathe again, a broad area of something. So there was a broad area of ice stretching for maybe 15 meters before it petered out and the dirt trail reappeared. So when this snow was vanished or finished and the dirt was reappearing, but it was 15 meters. The snow continued on either side of us, smoothing the abrupt bank on the upslope side. The bank was too steep for our vehicle to scale. It was very steep. So there was no way around the snow patch. I joined Daniel as Satan stepped onto the encrusted snow. So now nobody is in the car, Satan is down and began to slither and slide forward. He is slithering his vehicle, stamping his foot from time to time to ascertain sure how sturdy it was. I looked at my wristwatch. We were at 5,210 meters above sea level. So this was their journey by far. This was the video for today. See it and please note down the meanings.